Good morning, it's Prabha Verma again over here with my new video. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to find the mean by the method of step deviation. We have already done the direct method and the assume mean method, and you have already seen those two methods in my previous videos. Now here, the data that is given to me is 15 to 25, 25 to 35, and so on and so forth. The last class interval is 75 to 85. The values of Fi are given. I have totaled the Fi and I've got it as sigma Fi equal to 35. Now, we have already done direct method. We have already done assume mean method. The question arises, why are we doing the step deviation method? Now, I have also found out Xi over here. I've got it as 20, 30, 40 and so on and so forth. Then, as in the assume mean method, we have found out A. Now, to find out A, I have already told you earlier that we will first count the number of class intervals given. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is odd number of class intervals. Out of these 7 class intervals, we choose the centermost class interval, that is 45 to 55. And here I have highlighted this class interval by 2 parallel lines. Now the value of Xi of this centermost class interval becomes the value of A, which is the assume mean of my data. Next, I find out Di in exactly the same way I found out in my assume mean method. That is, I am going to subtract Xi minus A in each of these. That means when I first subtract 20 minus 50, I get minus 30. Then I do 30 minus 50, I get minus 20, and so on and so forth. Obviously, for the selected class interval, the value of Di comes out to be 0. Now above 0, I've got negative values of Di, and below 0, I've got positive values of Di. Now comes the question, why the step deviation? Now step deviation is basically applied when we have all the Di's as a multiple of some common factor. Now if you observe this Di, all these Di are the multiples of the common factor 10. That means all of them are divisible by 10. So I move out to the next column, that is Ui. What is the formula for Ui? Xi minus A upon 10. This 10 basically over here is my class size. That is 25 minus 15 is giving me 10. That is what I have taken 10 over here. So I am going to divide each of the Di by this 10. So minus 30 divided by 10 gives me minus 3. Minus 20 divided by 10 gives me minus 2, and so on and so forth. So basically I have reduced my calculation further from as what I got in the assume mean method. Now the last column is Fi Ui. So I am going to multiply Fi by Ui, each of the Fi by the subsequent Ui. So 6 into minus 13 gives me minus 18. 11 into minus 2 gives me minus 22, and so on and so forth. I get all the values of Fi Ui. Now again over here, above 0 I have negative values. Below 0 I have all positive values. On adding the negative values, I get minus 47. On adding the positive values, I get plus 11. So I have one negative, one positive value. I subtract them and I get Fi Ui as minus 36. As I told you earlier in the assume mean method also, that this total can come both positive or negative. Now coming down to the formula of mean by the direct method, it is A plus sigma Fi Ui upon sigma Fi into H. That is, I put the value of A as 50. I have sigma Fi Ui as minus 36. I have sigma Fi as 35 into 10. On solving this, I get 50 minus 10.28. That is equal to 39.72, which is the answer over here. Now next, let's come down to some important points regarding mean. First of all, whether it is the direct method, it is the assume mean method, or it is the step deviation method. By whichever method you solve, in finding the mean, in all the 3 cases, you're going to get the same answer. Now the choice of the method which you are going to use depends on the numerical values of Xi and Fi. Second point, if Xi and Fi are sufficiently small, then the direct method is an appropriate choice. If Xi and Fi are numerically large numbers, then we can go for the assume mean method or the step deviation method. The step deviation method will be convenient to apply if all the DIs have a common factor, which I showed you over here in the previous question, wherein the common factor was 10. And lastly, if the class sizes are unequal and the xi are large numerically, then we can still apply the step deviation method by taking h to be a suitable divisor of all the di's. That means in my next video, I will be telling you how to use the step deviation method to solve a question even if the class intervals are of different sizes. Now this mean in class 10th, as far as the board exam is concerned, it's an important topic and you are supposed to know all the three methods, because at times in the exam, any one method is asked by name. So you have to be thorough with all the three methods. Thank you and have a great day ahead.